In this video, we're going to take a look at Samuel Slater and how he started the Industrial Revolution in America. So if we're going to learn about Samuel Slater, we need to know about his background. Where did this guy, Samuel Slater, come from? Well, he's actually one of the few people that we're going to discuss in American history going forward that wasn't actually born in America. He was actually born in England. So if you'll take a look down here on the map with me, there's England. Okay, there's basically England right there. That's where he grows up. And when he's growing up, he gets old enough to work, and he starts working in a textile mill. Here's an example of a textile mill over here. A textile mill is a place where they make textiles. Textiles just means woven fabric. So think about the clothes that you're wearing right now. Those clothes were made from thread that was woven together to create the clothes that you're wearing. And that's basically what textiles are. Textiles are just fabrics that you use to make clothing, to make blankets, sheets for your bed, and anything that you would use fabric to make. Fabric is made from cotton. Most of that cotton was produced in the United States, in the southern United States. It was sent over to England, where inside this textile mill, they would take raw cotton and they would turn it into thread. And then they would take that thread and they would weave it into fabric. And that's what Samuel Slater did. Samuel Slater right here, that's what he did when he lived in England. He worked in a textile mill, and he went on to really understand the textile business. He understood sort of all the different aspects of the business, and eventually he wanted to start his own business. The Industrial Revolution actually starts in Great Britain. They were the first to figure out how to make textiles. And then from there, other industries developed as well. But these factories would turn raw materials into finished goods. So when we think about a raw material, we think of cotton. Cotton just naturally grows out in the field. If you water it, if you take care of it, cotton will grow. And then the idea that we're going to take that cotton and we're going to turn that into clothing. That is the textile industry. And the textile industry is just the first of many industries that are going to develop during the Industrial Revolution. And so even though the Industrial Revolution starts off over in Great Britain, it's not going to stay there forever. Eventually, it's going to make its way over to America thanks to this guy, Samuel Slater. So Samuel Slater spent the first part of his life living in England, wanting to start his own textile business. But in England, he wasn't allowed to do that. So while he's living over here in England, he's thinking about possibly trying to get to the United States. In the United States, people can start businesses. But at this point, no one in America has a textile mill. It's something that's very unique to England right now, and England wants to keep it that way. It's actually illegal for him to take his ideas with him to the United States. Great Britain doesn't want any other countries to figure out how to make textiles. This gives Great Britain an economic advantage over other countries. So they've actually made it illegal to take plans for textile mills outside of Great Britain. They've also made it illegal for people like Samuel Slater, who understands the textile business, to leave and go to another country. So even though he wants to move to the United States, it's actually illegal for him to do that. So what he decides to do is he knows he won't be able to get the plans out of the country without anybody noticing. So he decides to memorize the plans for his textile mill that he wants to build in America, and he sneaks out. And he's able to get from Great Britain over to the United States. He finally arrives in 1793, and he creates the first textile mill in America in the state of Rhode Island. Now, he picked Rhode Island for a reason. Textile mills need water power to work. That's what makes them special. For years and years, people were already taking cotton and spinning it into woven fabric, into thread, into woven fabric. As you can see down here in this picture, this is an example of a lady spinning cotton into thread. And people have been doing this for a really long time. What made the textile mills special was that they were no longer going to use energy from a person. And as you can see down here, this lady is actually using her arm to turn the wheel. That uses human energy. We don't want to use human energy anymore. Textile mill is now going to use water energy. Now, Rhode Island was the perfect place to start the first textile mill because Rhode Island has a lot of streams and rivers, has a lot of water. And the way a textile mill would work is the water, you need to find a place where water sort of falls, because you're going to use the energy from a waterfall to turn. So we're going to harness this water, we're going to make it flow down, and it's going to actually make this wheel turn. So instead of a person turning a wheel, now we're going to have the energy, the natural energy from the water is going to turn the wheel on the outside, which is going to turn another wheel on the inside of the building, which will actually spin the thread. And so this was new technology whenever Samuel Slater develops the first textile mill there in 1793 in Rhode Island. It becomes innovative, and it's not going to be the last textile mill, but it was the first. Many people are going to copy his idea, and we're going to start to see many different textile mills and also other mills that are going to develop all through the United States of America into the 1790s and into the 1800s. Samuel Slater is credited with starting the Industrial Revolution in America. He literally brought the Industrial Revolution with him on a boat from Great Britain over to the United States. And for that reason, he is known as the father of the American Industrial Revolution.